Some root causes of damp require a process of elimination to identify them. This is an example.
We've got these tide marks stretching across the wall. Thought it might be leaking through the door. Builders said inject the walls again, but I'm suspicious. The external wall already has loads of drill holes.
You're better off opening this up. It isn't dealing with the root cause. It's better off drying out to stop the water causing dampness. You have no signs of dry rot. That's the important thing. You would have a sort of mushroomy smell. You'd have what's called a fruiting body. It's like a mushroom. It is a type of mushroom. And you tend to get red spores. So you don't have dry rot, and that's the big killer. See, your neighbour's gutter is pouring water onto your side. There's dampness at the base of your wall. Now, I think that's probably residual. I think that's probably more water coming from inside getting out rather than from the outside. But you did have a drain issue, as I understand it. It's drier than expected under here. What's happening is it's the chipboard is loosening up from moisture. There's no significant rot. There's some cellar rot, which is likely to have wood weevil. I checked your mains water for a leak. There's no sign of a leak, but you can get false positives and false negatives. So I asked that your plumber check it, and I haven't heard back from that. I think the thing you should do is have a look at your mains water meter reading before going away or for an extended absence, and then look at it before and afterwards and just see if there's a change. Now, the corrosion along the pipe suggests that that's where there's a leak. However, it could be just because the pipe is sitting on top of the brick wall and that's causing corrosion, which is actually in a sense from condensation, but that's because there's water inside the subfloor void.
Would a radiator position in this corner help?
A radiator would help, but it isn't solving the root cause.
So our plumber says there is no more leak on the heating system. What could be the root cause of damp?
So you've got three things going on. The chipboard has collapsed. You've got water in the subfloor void, and you've got poor ventilation in the subfloor void. If you had water in the subfloor void and there was good ventilation, you wouldn't have a problem. What happens is you get condensation above the damp-proof course through excess vapor, through a source of water, and through lack of subfloor ventilation. Opening up the subfloor vent will go a long way, but it takes time. It can take a year to dry out. What I recommend is you keep open the area in the subfloor void and use a fan and dehumidifier to speed up the drying process. You may have to put in a mechanical vent in the subfloor void. With damp, it can be from a simple leak or it can be more complex. But it isn't rising damp, because in London you don't get rising damp. They're one of 6 sources, and plus your neighbour. Ideally, you check the subfloor humidity on your neighbour side, and you ask whether they have similar situations. It could be either neighbour, left or right. So you've got mains water leak. I tested it. It was negative, but there could be a non-return valve. And then the best way of checking is just to see if you've got a use of water when you're away. Second is the heating system. You've had that checked, although you can get leaks on that which aren't detected by plumbers. You have a drainage system, but that is suggesting from your searches during the purchase, suggesting that you don't have drainage running under the property. But we need to keep an eye on that and think about it. There's the rainwater goods, and you did have a problem there, and it may be that it's simply residual damp. You've had that cleared out, and I believe that's working now. But that is a possibility. You have, there could be water from above, but I didn't see any examples of that. But condensation, for instance, from above dripping on a cold pipe can cause dampness in the subfloor void. And it can be groundwater, but you don't have groundwater in this area. It's in London where groundwater is pumped out anyway. And also you don't have groundwater bearing rocks under the property. There could be a local river running under the property, but again, it's not, you don't have that. In addition, you clearly have got an issue with subfloor ventilation, and that isn't the cause of the problem, but that exacerbates any source of moisture getting in. So it is, you're effectively trapping it. So it could be just simply residual damp from the rainwater goods. So plan of action is to open up the subfloor void, and I'm going to show you a picture of my own place where I have recently taken it over, and there were high vapor levels in the subfloor void causing causing cellar rot and wood weevil, and it was the soil levels were blocking the subfloor ventilation, and water was getting in. So I've just been leaving a fan and dehumidifier running for about a month so far. And then use the hygrometer probe to measure subfloor relative humidity. There's no point doing that until you seal it up, but try and keep that zone open for as long as possible. And I would really, really, really recommend you keep an access point.
Damp can have more than one contributor, but solving it doesn't have to mean expensive or invasive work. Keep it simple. 1. Monitor your water meter when the house is unoccupied. 2. Use a fan and dehumidifier to help the subfloor dry. 3rd, track relative humidity using a hygrometer probe. It'll tell us whether things are improving. And most importantly, avoid unnecessary damp-proofing treatments. They treat symptoms, not causes, which are typically short-term and can hide damp, resulting in rot, such as in this case.